Hi panel. Often the blame focused at boomers is economic. That they hold the wealth, the savings, have benefited from property purchase, negative gearing, and more recently, franking credits. But what are some of the social changes that affected great change during 1960s and 1970s, such as women's rights, no-fault divorce, childcare? Don't current generations benefit greatly from such powerful social change? Does it always have to be an economic discussion?
Ronni, Kahn, I want to start with you. Are we too quick to dump on boomers?
Absolutely.
Are we ignoring all of your wisdom?
Definitely. Given that I'm one of them, I absolutely think we're too quick to dump on us. However, there is $2.3 trillion worth of money that's going to be transferred intergenerationally over the next 15 years. Now, let's hope that we know how to use that well.
I should say that you're all boomers. There's one borderline boomer. I'm not going to name names here. But I want to ask your thoughts on this, Ray. Do you think we're too quick to dismiss older generations, particularly the boomers?
In our culture, we don't dismiss our elders. They're a part of our community and we respect them, we listen to them, and we want them to be a part of our community. So it's the boomer thing is not really a part of our thinking or our culture.
So what do you make of the boomer thing as you describe it?
What do I make of it? Look, we haven't progressed in terms of our economic developments anyways, as from the 1960s onwards. We didn't get our, the referendum didn't happen until 1967. So coming out of that period of time there, we've had to negotiate some very, very rough times, and we still do negotiate through those social issues, the racisms and all of those kind of challenges that we face, the health, the incarceration rates, all of those kind of things as part of our community's challenges. And so the boomer situation, we would love to have big amounts of money locked away in our superannuation to live off, but that's not our reality.
Kerry O'Brien.
Well, I think it's too simplistic to separate generations and say one generation is more selfish than another, as if there was some kind of conspiracy about it, some collective managing of our world, and that's simply not the case. I think that in many ways we've been a lucky generation, and I was actually born 6 days after the war, so technically I'm probably just pre-boomer. But I'll happily...
I wasn't going to identify.
I will. I'll happily be a part of that generation because I think that some great things have happened in that period. And we did live through the worst of the Cold War and the great threat of nuclear war. But we did get to bask in the sunlight post-war. But, I'm a parent, and like every boomer parent, I would want at least as much, if not more, opportunity for my children and my grandchildren than I had and certainly than my parents have. And I don't believe that's going to be the case.
Jillian Broadbent, do you see the way young people look at your generation today and say, look, they got a great deal on education, they got a great deal on their home, they got a great deal with their superannuation, and they're having a great time as they move towards retirement or live happily in it?
Well, I think some of that's very true. And as Ronni said, there is going to be this wealth transfer. And I think government has continually failed to address the generosity of superannuation. So I think there are some policies there that would make the attitude to the boomers a little bit less resentful.
But do you think young people are justified? I mean, the sorts of kids that go to your university, do you think they're justified in feeling a bit hard done by?
I don't see that view as widespread as you say, this resentment of the older age. I mean, I think there is a certain amount of respect and recognition, especially with women, of the social change. I mean, as a female who's stayed in the workforce, I get a fair bit of respect for persevering against adversity, I suppose. So I haven't seen that resentment, but I do think there are tweaks to economic policy that could deal with some of the resentment that might be there.